make the fucking difference between winning and losing.
If you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were.
Today, the role of JBONE will be portrayed by the OG Fig Kid. Welcome to Longballs, guys. JBONE is not here tonight, but as usual, we have the ratings wizard sitting behind me. HOCH, what's going on, buddy?
Living the high life in Memphis, man, like every week.
And joining us once again, they were here last week and they're back. Seth and Jordan, what's up, guys?
Not much. I'm living the high life in the sticks about 40 miles outside of Memphis, man. So me and HOCH, we're in the same proximity, but two very different areas we're in right now.
And I'm living the low life in Nebraska. So things are great.
All I know is when you guys, when HOCH comes to your house, Seth, you better record it and make it like a reality show.
Yeah, we will. We'll get some editing. I'm gonna hire a camera crew to come in, man. We'll do a storyline.
That'll be priceless.
We can let him go scare the kids. We're gonna make him feed the goats. Go get the eggs out of the chicken coop. Yeah, he's gonna get the full farm. He thinks he's coming out here to watch football, but Jordan knows what's up when you come to the Phelps, the Casa de Phelps.
I just hope you have something for him to milk.
I better bring work clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't be wearing your Colts jersey.
HOCH's gonna be working his farmer gimmick on Sunday.
All right. One by one, I'm knocking out the Pod Foundation, meeting everybody.
That's right. You're gonna.
Who would have thought that HOCH would end up being like the connective tissue between this group of, I think we got damn near 20 people in the Pod Foundation now.
And I got to meet HOCH last month, and it was a pleasure hanging out with the dude. It was really fun. But let's jump into football. That's why we're here. What is this, week number 6 we're heading into now, right?
Yep.
Yeah, yes, we just finished 5.
Yes. My Cowboys are 4-1, but we're not here to talk about that. But
we can be.
We can be. Well, is that one of our topics tonight?
It can be if you want it to be, if you want to talk about the Cowboys. But I think first and foremost, the first topic that's been the buzz on the internet is roughing the passer and how it's becoming fucking insane. So I guess a question I want to pose is a penalty like that, that's so clear-cut whether it is or isn't, should it be challengeable? Because I feel like a play like if that call, the roughing the passer on Derek Carr gets challenged, I think any ref in their sane mind would be like, yeah, that's not roughing the passer, and they pick up the flag. Because a few years ago, pass interference was challengeable, so they tried it. They tried making those challengeable, which I still agree that they should be, because sometimes I could understand where like maybe, but this one was so clear cut, like not roughing the passer. Like, what do you do about that? Game changer.
Yeah, there was that one. And then the one, I know Jordan will probably go into a little more detail. The one on Brady at the end of the Falcons game was similar. I don't know if this is a reaction to the way Tua got tackled, getting slung down to the ground, but I agree 100%, man. It's such a game-changing penalty because, you're going from typically these are happening on sacks a lot of times, right? Or like an incompletion on third down or something where the defense is going to be going off the field and getting the ball back for their offense. And instead of that, you end up giving the offense back the ball first down, 15 yards down the field. I think it totally should. And in the refs' defense, some of these calls are indefensible, but I'll offer up a soft defense for the refs. These are incredible athletes that are out there. They're so big, strong, fast. And sometimes when you're seeing something in real time, it might look a lot more violent and intentional than it is if you had a chance to actually slow it down and see that, hey, maybe it just looked a little bit funky as it was happening in real time. I know that was definitely the case for the Derek Carr one and the Tom Brady one. Like, I just don't know what defenders are supposed to do if that's getting them 15 yards.
Yeah, I am not giving the refs any leeway on this. The Tom Brady one is one of the most absurd penalties I've ever seen called. Falcons have all the momentum. It's third down. Grady Jarrett does a perfect stunt, sacks Brady, doesn't even throw him down. And if you notice, when Grady Jarrett gets up, Brady tries to kick him. They don't call that. It's like, dude, the game has changed so much to benefit the offenses. Like, defenses get called for more and more shit every game. They're cracking down on pass interference. They're cracking down on holding. They're cracking down on defensive linemen holding offensive linemen. Cracking down on roughing the passers. Like, dude, I get it that the league is built on good offenses, but it also screws good defensive players because they're getting called for penalties that aren't penalties. I mean, seriously, the Falcons would have got the ball with 3 minutes left down 6 points with a chance to win that game, and they had all the momentum, and they fucked him out of that game. Like, there's no other way to slice it.
And I didn't see that one, but the Chris Jones on Derek Carr, like, that's how coaches have to be teaching the defensive players to tackle quarterbacks. Like, to me, that was the most fundamental sack and tackle of a quarterback that you could do without being penalized. So when they start calling shit just because, like you said, it looks violent, it's gotta be challengeable. I think they gotta be able to go look at that shit.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I'll say against that is, dude, these challenges, they make the game longer. And I'm sorry, man. What happens if you waste a challenge on something that you thought wasn't a roughing the passer? As I'm telling you, man, this is why the pass interference one went away, because the challenges were not being they just were not overturning the calls enough, because the officials are going to go with what they think is right no matter what. I mean, that's what it comes down to. That's what they're taught to do. They don't want to make the officiating crew look bad. Like, the challenges are more designed for, like, hey, did this guy actually fumble or did this guy actually score a touchdown? When you start reviewing penalties, it's just a slippery slope that I just don't think will end up working out.
Well, in college, they've been doing reviews for targeting, like the hitting defenseless receivers, and it's worked out. I think maybe don't make it a challenge thing. Like, we know the NFL offices are watching there in New York all the time. Just if there's like a horrible call, just let them buzz in and be like, hey, you know what? You guys need to pick that flag up. I know that kind of takes away from the spirit of the game and takes power away from the officiating crew on the field, but these are just game-changing calls, and you never want a game to be decided off of a bad call, especially if it's something like a ticky-tack roughing the passer penalty.
That's what I was going to say. It's more important to me to get it right. And like, we're watching the TV, we instantly see it. So just have a crew assigned to each game watching it. And if you see something, hit a button that automatically notifies them. They got like 20 seconds to do it, so it doesn't take forever. See if they have a case or not, and then they continue with it. And if not, they don't.
I'd do it for Colts games. Sign me up. That'd be my job. I watch Colts games, and if there's a questionable call, I buzz down and be like, that was bogus. Pick up the flag. Who wouldn't want that fucking job,
you probably
right?
need a partial guy for each game, dude. Like, an impartial guy. I don't think it would work.
My 5-year-old is starting to take more of an interest in football, and I put up some videos on YouTube, like some of those old like NFL films, highlight reels, like the big hits, and we were watching them the other day, and I was just thinking, like, dude, like some of these hits, man, if a guy hit a receiver like that nowadays, he'd probably end up spending the night in jail. Like it's crazy how much the game has just changed in the last 10, 15 years.
Could you imagine if Tom Brady got hit like that today?
You definitely spend a night in jail.
Bunch of pussies. But so we'll keep on kind of the quarterback issue, and I guess the big thing would be, is Russell Wilson cooked? Is he done?
Looks like he's cooked to me, man.
I think he's got time to round it into shape. Something's off in Denver, right? Something's off in Denver. But Russell Wilson is a great football player. I think he's going to improve at least a little bit. But did you guys see that post-game press conference, how he still managed to get in the Broncos country, let's ride? Like, that was the saddest thing I've ever seen, man, as an NFL fan. That was just horrible, so awkward. Like, I don't know. And Geno Smith is balling in Seattle, man. Like, Geno Smith is doing his damn thing. It's crazy. So yeah, I think I don't know. I'm not going to say he's cooked yet. He's definitely on the cooked watch, though.
Yeah, it doesn't look good for Russ in Denver. The one thing I'm going to say is, dude, Seattle, you guys said this last week, Seattle seemed awful intent on trading their franchise quarterback. I mean, I'm pretty sure Seth said it last week, dude. Who trades their franchise quarterback?
It's always a red flag, man.
That seems like a red flag. And I was like, nah, I just think he had a falling out with the owner and coach. Maybe they knew something that we didn't know. I mean, either way, if Russ really is cooked, his agent should be given like a Pulitzer Prize for getting him $250 million.
Yeah. Did you see the excuses already coming out? They had that press release. I think it was maybe Sunday morning. Sheena chiming in, pussy ass NFL.
That's true.
They had that press release that dropped on Sunday where, they said Russell Wilson's, got a partially torn labrum or something like that. It's like, oh, how convenient that, we're finding out he's injured now after this shitty start to the season.
Yeah, it's just crazy because it's not like a Carson Wentz situation where he had one good season, then he was never good again. Russell Wilson has been fucking solid for the last like 12 years, 10, maybe 10 or 11. And then just so young, because today, like 30, what is he, 33? By NFL year, I mean, that's super young for a quarterback.
Yeah, he's in his prime as far as quarterbacks go nowadays.
And just to see this epic drop-off with weapons, I mean, he was going in there with Sutton and Judy. And
dude, Teddy Bridgewater got made the scapegoat in Denver. All the hype this offseason was Denver was Super Bowl ready. They just needed the quarterback, and they've given the keys to Russell Wilson, and it's looked horrible, man. I mean, that game Thursday night just looked sad. I mean, the Colts didn't look much better, but when the rubber hit the road, Matt Ryan got them down the field not once but twice to win that game, and Russell Wilson couldn't do anything.
And I don't know who called the play for Stephon Gilmore to get that interception, but all they had to do was pretty much run the clock down. If they run it on 3rd and 4, and they don't get it, it's 4th and 2. You kick a field goal. We're not moving the ball.
You got an offense that's done jack shit all night. That was always the talk out of Seattle, man. They said, that was the conspiracy theory for why Marshawn Lynch didn't get the ball in the Super Bowl, that Russell Wilson was so much about himself and, getting his numbers up and stuff that he wanted to be the guy making the big throws to ice the game, right? And that would have been a highlight play if he managed to throw a touchdown to just put the nail in the coffin on that. But, he threw that lame pass that Stephon Gilmore easily picked off. Like, that was an easy interception. It wasn't like something crazy. And then that last play, they had 4th and 1. Why not run it right there? You know what I mean? Get the first down. You have 1st and goal like the 3. But he stares down his receiver for like 5 seconds and just chucks it right into coverage, man, against one of the best corners in the NFL. Like, I don't know. Something's definitely up. I'm not buying the injury thing. I think maybe there's just something out of sync between him and that coach and the rest of the offense now.
The whole thing, but like you said, Seattle traded him. That's unheard of to trade a player in his prime like that, especially at the quarterback position. And now he's not doing good in Denver. So it almost seems like that there's more going on than injuries and football. Like Father Time might have caught up with him, which would lead me into another quarterback. Oh, you want to talk about it real quick, Tom?
Also, what about the difference in going to play in Denver? The air is much different up there. You think that could be affecting him at all?
Manning had his best season as a pro.
Yeah, if anything, it should be easier to throw the ball farther. Yeah, Russell Wilson specializes in the deep ball. That's always been one of the strongest parts of his game. So
but I
appreciate the scientific aspect of it. I like where your head's at, but if anything, I feel like that would be helping his game out. But
hey, man, they did say that Russell Wilson had his 2 worst games as a Seahawk in Denver. So I don't know, man.
So he is a scrambler, right? Russell Wilson's known as a guy who likes to run around, 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage and stuff. So maybe that's it. Maybe he just can't get his win to keep it going.
I mean, Denver is not known for having a bunch of scrambling quarterbacks in their history. It ain't like they have a bunch of running quarterbacks that they've had. I mean, I don't know, man.
It affects your breathing. It affects everything.
The
air is different up there.
A good
2,000 yards.
2,000 yard season in that air. So
John Elway is probably top 6 or 7 QB of all time. Played his whole career in Denver.
And Manning had the greatest offensive season of any quarterback ever.
Yes.
Playing in Denver. So that's not a reason.
I think we got to discount it. Yeah.
But so
Manning's greatest season ever was the second year, though. It wasn't his first year.
So you're saying next year Russell Wilson is MVP bound.
Buy your tickets for the Russ show next year. Nathaniel Hackett won't be there next year either.
Yeah, he's gone.
That's your futures bets right now.
It's a 1-year coach for sure. If you're losing to the Colts on Thursday night at home, the fans left.
Hold on.
That was horrible, man. Yeah, I saw that, dude.
Isn't even his worst coaching thing of the year. The worst coaching of the year was the first game when he literally didn't run any plays to get him closer to a 62-yard field goal and then kicked it with 30 seconds left. Let 40 seconds run off the clock and then kicked it. Like, dude, what are you doing?
It's bad in Denver.
It is, but good. We've got another tiebreaker, the Colts do. So we'll move on to Stafford. Let's talk about Stafford. He's kind of in the same situation, a bit older. So, but man,
dude, he took a beating so many years in Detroit. I really think he had one good year left in his body, and thank God he got the Rams all the way to the Super Bowl, man. I don't know if he's going to come back or not, man.
I think his elbow really did go to shit. Like, I think they were covering it up in the preseason. They said, he's got some stiffness in his elbow. No, I think his elbow is basically fucking gone, and he's arm punting everything. It's not good. Like, Stafford doesn't look good at all.
No, Tom.
Stafford's older.
But it's crazy because he balled out last year. They won the Super Bowl, and then he comes in, and nobody heard about this injury until I think a week before the season, maybe. It dropped pretty late. Like
Stafford's 34, Russ is 33. So I don't know if the older.
He's so much older than him.
I thought they, for some reason, I was thinking Stafford was 37 or some bullshit, but no, I guess they came in.
Detroit, dude, playing for the Lions though is like dog years, man. Like one season playing for the Lions is like 3 years on your career compared to any other team.
The other thing too is, man, I think a lot of people discounted how much Odell actually did for that team at the end of last year.
Because they weren't great the first half of the season, man.
Dude, if you're seriously throwing the ball to Cooper Kupp 25 times a game, I love Cooper Kupp, but if that's your only offense, you're fucked.
Yeah, Odell definitely opened that offense up big time.
Doesn't he still have another month left before he can play, though, is what they're saying?
But get him in the building. Why wait till he's healthy? Get him in the building.
I think that's where he ends up at in the end. I mean, I think that's where he wants to play.
I just think it's hilarious because he listed the 5 teams he wants to go to, and he's listing like the 5 best quarterbacks in the NFL. It's like, of course, bud, that's where every receiver wants to go.
I was just gonna say, if I was a receiver, that would be my list as well.
Yeah, it's every receiver. It's every time when a receiver's on the free market, they always give their list, and it's always Mahomes, Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers. Like, yeah, man. Fucking of course.
Yeah, he's like, do you want me to rattle off 5 off the top of my head that I'd like to go to? Let's see, Kansas City.
Not to take us too far off the rails, I've always been an Odell Beckham Jr. fan, though, dude. Like, he got a bad rap with the Giants because he would get so pissed off when they were losing. But as a fan, I want to see that, dude. Like, I hate whenever my team loses and, 30 seconds after the game, they're like laughing and joking with the players on the other team, shaking hands at midfield. Like, I get it. It's a business, but I love those guys that actually get pissed off and get fiery about losing and shit,
Have your star receiver push down a camera guy after the game.
Yeah. But I disagree. I think Odell Beckham has made his whole career on one amazing catch. And I think aside from that one amazing catch, he's been a serviceable wide receiver 2 for teams.
He was kicking ass for the Rams last year, man. I think he was kind of lost in the wilderness with he was on the downside of Eli's career, and then he got caught in the mix with whatever the Giants had going on those last couple of years. And then he's being stuck with Baker Mayfield, who we've now seen is not a starting caliber quarterback. I thought he did really, really good that second half of the season with the Rams last year.
Hawk, his first 3 years in the NFL. His first year started 11 games, had 91 catches for 1,300 yards. Second year, 15 games, 96 catches for 1,450 yards. Third year, 16 games, 101 catches, 1,367 yards. If that is a secondary receiver, goddamn, there's a lot of secondary receivers.
All right, you got me. His first 3 years, in the league were pretty baller. I'll give you that. But
he had some time off in the wilderness for sure, dude, where he was kind of just lost.
It was a very short-lived prime, and that he never quite recaptured ever again.
Yeah, I agree with that.
He got hurt in 17 because he only played 2 games.
But that
seemed like those first couple years seemed like he was like on the track to be like first ballot Hall of Famer, and it definitely went off the rails a little bit there for him for about 3 or 4 seasons.
But in the NFL, everyone would be like, well, if you didn't get injured, it's like, but that's part of the NFL, man. Staying healthy is part of your legacy.
The best ability is availability.
It's true.
All right,
good one. We'll make a banner. We'll hang it up on the green screen here. But no, that's part of the best players in NFL history. The Hall of Famers were there for their teams, and it's a violent sport. I don't hold it against anyone if they get injured, but ultimately it does affect your legacy because if you're not on the field to perform, then who gives a fuck?
Look at Emmitt Smith, dude. He made a freaking Hall of Fame all-timer of a running back career off being able to rush for 4 yards a carry for fucking 15 years,
Behind the best offensive line in football history.
I was just going to never got hurt, though. That offensive line was amazing. You could have put me back there, and I could have averaged 4 yards.
Let's not get carried away.
All right, one more quarterback I want to talk about, and then we'll move on from that, is David Carr. Is it...
David Carr. We flash back to the 2002 Houston Texans.
Derek Carr. Not David. You're right. But he started.
I like Derek
Carr.
Started
playing like David Carr.
He had some definitely some missed opportunities last night for sure. They should have beat the Chiefs. They should have put that game away earlier, but they let him hang around. I think you got to check the expectations, man. I don't think he's ever going to be like that top, 8 or 9 QB. I think you can definitely win with him though. But if you're expecting to build a whole game plan around him, it's not going to happen. He needs a strong running game and a good defense to be a winner in this league. Yeah, so I don't know if he's a long-term answer or not. They definitely got a lot of talent on that roster, but 1-4 record, that's not what you want.
They have 4 losses by a combined 14 points. Derek Carr is not that guy. Like, he's just not. He, like you said, he's not the guy to get you the promised land. Dude, if the game is on the line and you got to have Derek Carr with a game-winning pass, that's the fucking luck to you.
Yeah, I'm with you. If you have a serviceable quarterback on your team, but you know he's not going to lead you to a Super Bowl, he's just going to lead you to decent regular seasons or something, you got to find the answer, because ultimately the NFL is about winning Super Bowls.
Yeah.
So I don't think you stick with a guy just so you can maybe sneak in as a wild card, maybe win a playoff game, and then you're done. And I'm with Jordan. I just don't think Derek Carr is the guy. And when we needed a quarterback and I had heard that maybe we could trade for him, I was for it.
Oh, yeah.
But now I would think of it like the Carson Wentz trade or the Matt Ryan trade. It's just another, you're just patching the position, because I just think that at this point, you know what you're getting, and it's this.
In a lot of ways, he's like the worst type of quarterback to have. I put him in the same vein as like Kirk Cousins and Ryan Tannehill, that they're too good to like give up on and pull the plug on, but they're not quite good enough that you ever feel like, yeah, this dude is taking us all the way. It's just, you end up getting stuck in limbo for years as a franchise. Because the Raiders got a good squad, and I think Josh McDaniels is a good coach. They've had a lot of bad. You don't think? Oh, obviously, they've had a lot of bad bounces this season.
No, legitimately, not because he left the Colts at the altar, but he sucked at Denver, and he's 1-4 at the start at Raiders. So, what leads you to believe that he's a good head coach? Why would you?
Dude, he drafted. Okay, so
he drafted.
We're going way off the rails. Yes, he drafted Tim Tebow, and I feel like Tim Tebow got the shaft harder than any player in the NFL, man. I don't know how, like, that dude was killing it for a sorry Broncos team, dude. He drugged them to the playoffs in 2011, beat a good Steelers team in the playoffs, and never got another opportunity to start after that. He also drafted Demaryius Thomas, RIP, awesome wide receiver. I think he was really, really young when he got that job with the Broncos, and I think maybe that's why he never really had a counter punch after they started struggling, because remember, he started off 6-0 that year. Started off 6-0, beat the Patriots in Mile High Stadium, did the big victory lap around the stadium after that, and then it kind of just went off the rails. But he's got to get some credit for the Patriots' success, man. He was he was the offensive coordinator through all the Patriots, Super Bowls and stuff, that second run there. I think he's a good coach, man. And I think the Raiders are going to end up winning with him. I just don't know if it's going to be with Derek Carr or not.
I disagree with you. I think Josh McDaniels is a terrible coach. So,
hey, can we have a little bonus topic since we're still talking about the game from last night? Dude,
whatever you want,
analytics people are ruining fucking football. Why the hell did both of those teams last night go for 2-point conversions in the fourth quarter?
I like it.
No, you do for what? So
because I've been playing Madden Veers. That's the way you play Madden when there's no pressure. Look at the Falcons.
That's not a good defense, Seth.
You didn't. What about the Falcons on Sunday when they went for 2? They were down 21-7.
I didn't like that one either.
I love it, dude. Because the 2-point conversions are historically successful 50% of the time. So if you think you can get it, go. They would have won the game if they got the ball back with a touchdown to extra point, man.
No,
I like the analytics.
If it's the end of the game, like if you score the touchdown and if you hit this 2-point conversion, you're going to win the game on the road in the division. I agree with that call. I don't agree with going for 2 when Mahomes is still getting the ball back with like 3 minutes to play. That's ridiculous.
You don't think that the Chiefs were going to drive downfield if they were down 1 point and at least get a field goal? Dude, that's the dumbest fucking call I've ever seen.
Ever. I agree.
They were not going to win that game even if they got that 2-point conversion.
And again,
tie the game and give yourself a chance to go into overtime.
If it's like I said, it's a completely different story. If it's if they get that, the game's over and they win, then I'm for it. Even though you didn't get it, it's like I agree with it. You're on the road in the division. Go for it. It just made zero sense, the timing of it. That's it.
I feel like Seth is 100% correct because when I watch NFL games, I feel like I'm watching games that I played as video games growing up, always just going for it.
I go for 2 every time.
Every time. And that's what happened. Like, we did that forever on video games. And now the people coaching are the people who grew up playing these video games. That mentality sunk into their head. So that's just what they're doing at this point.
If you know Mahomes is going down and getting a field goal anyways, why not at least put the pressure on him to be down by 1, where you had some desperation and maybe he chances something he wouldn't have.
Them not being tied, not putting the pressure on him? They still had to score either way.
Yeah. Because now they're down 1. Now Mahomes isn't just waste the time. Just don't give him the ball back. He's not in score mode. He's in don't give the Raiders the ball back.
If you tie that game, you give Mahomes. Yes, Mahomes still gets a chance to go on and win that game. But I'm telling you, that's when quarterbacks press, and he could have ended up throwing a pick, and that's how you win. Like, dude, I just don't think that was a smart call. And now the Raiders are 1-4 because of it. I thought it was stupid. They should have tied the game.
If I'm a Raiders fan, in the moment, I'm cussing at the TV. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? If the Colts were in that position, I'd be like, no, that's the dumbest thing ever.
I would say that's the kind of call. I mean, I like it. Is that I believe in the analytics, man. So I don't hate the call. But I would say that you'd got to make sure you got the ownership's buy-in. Like, whenever you interview for that job or whatever, you let the owners know, hey, this is the way we're going to play it on these kind of calls and stuff, so they know that, you know, there's going to be those controversial calls at the end of the game that ends up possibly deciding it.
Okay, here's my other thing. If you're going to do that, you go down with your best player. Josh Jacobs was phenomenal last night. I'm not disagreeing that. Throw the ball in the air and let Devontae Adams go get it.
Yeah, they couldn't stop Devontae Adams.
What are you doing? And then the end of the game, it's 2nd and 1, and they don't run the ball one time. It's like, dude, I mean, come on, man. Stupid coaching. I'm with Hawk. I think fucking McDaniel sucks. I don't think he's going to last long.
I think he's going to be successful with the Raiders.
I mean, going to have to make it through this season first. They end up 1-15. He won't.
It's true. And in that division, that's not even, I mean, they might not win a game in that division if they play like that. So we'll see. But all right, one more topic we'll get to here at the top. Tom, let's talk about your 4-1 Cowboys, bud.
Okay. They gotta beat the Eagles this week. I'm predicting.
Let's ask a Cowboys fan: are they for real? Do you have faith that your team can go out there on Sundays and be a contender?
I've been a Cowboys fan for 30 years. I've got no faith in anything they do anymore.
Good answer, Tom.
What are your thoughts on Cooper Rush, man? Are you still pressing for Dak to come back, or do you want to just keep things going how they're going?
It's 4 weeks of Everybody's sold on him. It's 4 weeks, people. Calm down.
I mean, you guys gave up on a decade of badass play from Tony Romo after, 7 or 8 weeks from Dak.
Yeah, I mean, Dak has put up some good numbers over the last few years. I want him to come back. Look at the year he had last year. He had a good year last year. He didn't have a bad. I'm not selling him out already.
Same. For QBs, they're judged unfairly. They're judged by wins and losses, man.
Yeah, you said it earlier. The best ability is availability, bud. And Dak surely doesn't have that. I mean, that dude can't make it through a season anymore.
I think the thing that's helping Dallas so much is they're just leaning on the run game. They're handing the ball off to Tony Pollard and Tubbo over there and letting him run the ball. And I just think that's what they should always be doing. The problem with
dogs in that defense, dude.
The problem with fucking Dak is, dude, when he comes back, they're gonna go back to that throwing offense. They're not gonna lean on the run as much. They just don't when Dak is in there.
No, they need to mix it up.
I think they need to keep the same philosophy and strategy they've had the last few weeks and just sprinkle a little bit of what Dak does in there. You know what I mean?
100%.
Because obviously Dak's an upgrade over Cooper Rush at quarterback. I don't know anybody that would say Cooper Rush is a better QB than Dak. Just let Dak do what they've been doing within this framework, because it's definitely working for them, because their defense is awesome. I think Micah Parsons, dude, he might be top 5 or 6 player in the league right now, man. That guy is just dominating every time he's on the field. And their offensive line is still great. So, yeah, lean on the run game and just let Dak be an upgrade over Cooper Rush, but keep doing what they've been doing, and we'll see how far they go.
I will tell you this. I'll close on this note. I did win a Super Bowl with this Cowboys team in Madden this year. So.
Here we go. You and Cooper Rush? Your Madden.
No, Dak didn't get hurt in my game, so.
What do you play Madden on, Tom?
My
What-
PlayStation 5.
I've been looking for a PlayStation 5. I can't find them in stores.
Hit me up after.
I'll get one and we'll play Madden online. I haven't played since I think the last Madden I played was like Madden 20.
We could
12?
Twitch it. We could go live on Twitch with us playing each other. Every time people tune in, it'll be the Cowboys versus the Colts.
I wouldn't be the Colts on Madden. I want to win games. All right. So let's talk. We always talk about like the best division of football. I think everybody was saying it was the AFC West. Now you might contend it's the NFC East.
Yep.
Let's go around the horn. Best division of football. We'll
I'm
go
looking at wins
clockwise.
and losses. It's NF. Well, I kind of already started. I think I messed this up.
We'll go
man. I say-
counterclockwise. You go.
There you
first.
go. I'll go NFC East, man. Like they're dominating. Obviously, you got the Deadskins still hanging out there, but yeah, the NFC East is dominating, man.
You know what? I'm going to go with the surprising one. I'm going to go AFC East. All those teams play hard every week. The Jets are playing hard. Miami, when they actually don't have Skylar Thompson as their quarterback, looks pretty good. And the Patriots, dude, I don't think anybody saw Detroit getting shut out this week. Like, that impressed the shit out of me. Like
I told you guys, Bailey Zappi.
I predicted it. I think I said last week, I'm like, Bill Belichick is the best at taking away what you do best. And he took the number one offense and he plummeted them right back down to earth, and they can't stop anybody. So I didn't know they'd shut him out, but I knew the Patriots were going to win handily for sure.
Hey, I got a crazy stat I saw on Twitter to drops. You know, I was hyping up Bailey Zappi, Western Kentucky Hilltopper last week. He ended up starting for the Patriots. So Bill Belichick is now in his career, he's 5-0 when playing a quarterback who's drafted outside of the first round and starting his first game. So with no-name quarterbacks making their first start, he's 5-0. The rest of the NFL, since the NFL-AFL merger, is 13-80 in that same situation, man. So just another testament to what kind of coach Belichick is.
Wow.
What do you think the best division is, Tom?
I would say NFC East. I got to agree with Seth. Giants are playing better. Cowboys are 4-1. The Eagles are 5-0. Washington's still there, like you said. I'm going NFC East.
Does
I don't buy
anybody-
what I'm seeing from the Giants, but they keep
No.
winning, man.
I don't either.
I
That's gonna blow
didn't
up.
think they would win this many games for the year, but they have already. So
They beat the
Dak-
Packers.
Dabble is by far the best rookie head coach. That dude knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he is a good coach, man.
I don't buy the NFC East. I don't buy the Cowboys. I don't buy the Giants. And I think the Eagles are good. I don't think they're like, I wouldn't put them as my Super Bowl favorite now. So I think that division's kind of overrated. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna stick
Eagles
with
got
them.
the classic profile of a one and done playoff team. I think I talked about that last
Yeah.
week. They remind me of like the 2019 Ravens, like really, really effective in the regular season. I'm confident they're going to be the number one seed in the NFC, but I bet they get bounced first playoff game by whoever they play.
And I
I also wouldn't be shocked to see the Eagles go on a 5-game losing streak really soon.
I don't see that
I don't think
happening
that's going to happen.
They're loaded,
Wouldn't be
man.
shocked.
because that division's overrated. I think the Eagles are going to run away with it.
I just
But-
think their defense is too good, and it's just going to keep them in every game. And if you can run the ball in the NFL, you're going to stay in every game.
True.
So this was obviously this didn't get relayed to Hawk. So me and Seth texted JBONE. Who do you guys think is the top 5 teams in the NFL?
Ooh.
I'll start. Man, I'm gonna go with. I still got to go with the Bills, man. I don't care. I think they're the best. I think Josh Allen's the best quarterback. They're rolling. I think it's their year. KC number 2, Mahomes. It's Mahomes. It's a quarterback-driven league. I will give Philly 3, even though I'm not sure they are the third best team in the league, because at the end of the day, there's question marks around Jalen Hurts. And I'm going to go the Vikings.
Wow.
Kirk Cousins is, I still think, kind of a mediocre quarterback, but they have all the pieces. He has a killer receiving core, killer running back. They're 4-1. And then I'll go Green Bay because I like Aaron Rodgers at 5.
I go Bills number 1 also. I go Eagles number 2. Similar to you, Hawk. I don't think they're the second best team in the league, but I think they're playing the second best right now. KC number 3, just because Mahomes gives you a chance to win every single game when you go out there on the field. I go Cowboys number 4 because I think they do got a really strong team, and I think it's going to be elevated when Dak comes in. And then I'm going Niners number 5, man. I'm a big fan of that Niners team. I think that roster's just loaded with talent.
You love those
Obviously,
Niners.
Jimmy G's got some limitations at quarterback, but you heard it last year during the playoffs, man. The team was rallying around him while everybody was hating on him and stuff. The dude, and he's a winner, man. I think Kyle Shanahan is the best coach in the NFL. And that team just got some dog in them, man. So I think they could end up coming out of the NFC this year if I was laying money down right now. But yeah, that's my top 5.
I would go. Mine's gonna be pretty similar to Seth. I would go Buffalo 1. So I think we're all in agreement on that. I would go Philly 2. I would go Kansas City 3. I do think Kansas City is a little bit worse than they were last year. I know a lot of people don't, but I do think they're definitely beatable this year.
They lost Tyreek Hill. I mean,
Tyreek Hill unlocked a lot for their he was like a cheat code, man, for that offense.
And I do feel like Buffalo upgraded at every position that they got beat at last year. I just don't think they're going to get beat because of it this year. I'm going to go. I'll go Dallas number 4 just because of how they're playing right now. Do I think it's going to last? No. And then 5, just because I'll never bet against this dude, I'll go Tampa Bay at 5.
Yeah, I think I agree with Jordan's list. He pretty much nailed it. If you're going through the first 5 games of this year, we're all pretty similar. But yeah, Jordan, for me, he just nailed it 1 through 5.
To me, I feel like Brady's lost a step, man. I know it's sacrilege to say they're still winning. And if my family's life was on the line and I had to have one QB to go out there and drive down for a field goal or a touchdown, I'd still probably go Brady. But I watched most of that game against the Falcons on Sunday, and it didn't look the same as last year or the year before. I think he's lost a step, and I don't know, man. I could see the Bucs actually tailing off towards the second half of the season.
Their offensive line is definitely a reason for concern because they are not blocking the same way for him as they have in the past. I mean, they got banged up a lot. But, I mean, like you just said, if I'm betting money and somebody's got to save my family's life as a quarterback, I'm going Brady.
Yeah.
I think even 75% Brady is better than, 20 of the NFL starting quarterbacks.
I'll just say this.
He's got that. Brady has the Michael Jordan element that when he's on the field, it just elevates everybody else's belief. Like they think we're not going to lose. Like no matter what the fucking score is, no matter what happens, like this dude's going to find a way to get it done. Which, like I said, that's why if my family's held hostage and in some kind of wild ass scenario, it's on a quarterback to drive for the victory to win. I'm going Brady. Brady's my guy. I want taking the snaps.
You won't make a living betting against Tom Brady. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that, I guess, at this point. I don't know why you would. Every year you're like, this is the year. And like you say, you think he's lost the steps. Like, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, he doesn't give a shit about regular season.
Yeah,
he gets to the playoffs, anything can happen.
When he starts fighting for that playoff spot and he's
personal shit comes into play, man. And he has some incredibly personal shit going on right now. And as long as they can stay afloat as he's kind of navigating that, come the playoffs, it's Brady's time to shine. So nothing that's happening right now dictates how he plays in January, unless he truly has lost a step, which is possible. He's 45 years old.
And I mean,
I haven't watched him play. So
out of the 3 of us, we had 3 total NFC teams in our top 5. Well, I put the Bucs in. You and Hawk both had 2. Would you bet your life that the Eagles or the Cowboys are going to beat Tom Brady at playoff time? Because I sure as hell wouldn't.
No, not at all.
Yeah. Finds a way to get it done. The guy's amazing.
There's not a lot of people I probably would bet against Tom Brady in the playoffs at this point.
No.
So it is what it is. He's going to be retired, and then the NFL can just go back to normal, where anyone can win.
25 years later, it can go back to normal.
All right, Tom, if you want to play that crystal ball drop, we'll go to our balls for some predictions. I got the old trusty crystal ball here. It hasn't led me astray all season long. So let's go to them. I got the games up here. We'll go clockwise here, Tom. So we'll start with you. Let's go Redskins at Bears. Thursday night football.
Bears.
That's the fucking toilet bowl, dude.
I go Bears.
Dude, both these teams suck so bad.
Oh, God damn.
Justin Fields is so fucking bad at reading a defense. Grant Washington doesn't play much. Dude, I cannot bet on the Bears right now. I'll go Washington.
Yeah, Ron Rivera is already starting to get a little bit of heat, man, that he may end up getting canned. I think he's a good coach. I just think he's saddled with Carson Wentz that for whatever reason, this dude is just like fucking cancer on any team he goes to. But I think he's going to cook up a game plan that shuts down the Bears 100%, and the Commanders win. I'll use the proper name.
I'll go with the Bears because this is Carson Wentz. Because if you look at Carson Wentz's stats, they're not bad. Here's why you can't win with Carson Wentz. He won't stick to a game plan. It doesn't matter what you game plan. Once he has the ball in his hand, the play that was called is completely irrelevant. So it doesn't matter how you're going to attack a defense. It's at the end of the day, is Carson Wentz going to escape a sack and make a play on the run where people are like, oh, that's decent. He's going to pad his stats, but then he's going to throw an interception at the goal line, which is what happens. That's Carson Wentz. He's never getting it back. And I'll never pick, we'll say Washington, to win another game while he's the quarterback. And I'm sticking to that.
I did see a funny stat, man, that I kind of wanted to get your thoughts on. Carson Wentz was obviously made the scapegoat in Indy last year. Matt Ryan has already thrown as many interceptions this season as Carson Wentz threw all last year.
Oh, I'm not defending Matt Ryan. He's not playing good. But Carson, because when I was in Lucas Oil, when we were playing the Chiefs and we started off really bad, we ended up winning that game. I don't even know fucking how we did it. There was some guy who was like, oh, we need Wentz back. It's like, dude, where were you last? Do you not remember last season? Like, you can throw all these stats out that you want about how he did this and Matt Ryan didn't. But at the end of the day, like, I remember watching Carson Wentz play for the Colts, and it wasn't good.
I think his teammates just don't like him also, man, which that counts for a lot as a quarterback.
Well, I just think it matters when you game plan all week for a team and then you just go off script every single fucking play. It probably annoys the fuck out of everybody. It annoys the fuck out of the offense because they don't know what to fucking do. And then it annoys the fuck out of the defense because you're not scoring touchdowns like you should be. Because Wentz, his completion percentage and his yards are fine, but he threw 27 TDs, which in today's NFL, if your quarterback's only throwing 27 TDs, man, in a not his rookie year, it's probably time to look for another. It's not NFL 20 years ago. If you don't have a quarterback throwing consistently 35 to 40 touchdowns a game, it might even be time to look for another one in today's NFL. We have the Bengals at the Saints. Tom?
I'm gonna go Bengals.
I'm going Bengals. I'll never pick the Saints. I don't care what it means for me on projections. There's no way I'm picking the Saints. Also, the Saints are bad. Like, they are not a good football team. They just give 32
they got Taysom Hill, dude. Taysom Hill had like the best fantasy game ever for a tight end.
Whatever. Taysom Schmasham. They gave up 32 points to Seattle with Geno Smith at the helm. Like, let's relax.
Geno's cooking, dude. You didn't see what Geno said after the game? He said, everybody wrote me off. He said, good thing I didn't write back.
Seth, stop. Give us your pick.
Yeah. Give us the pick.
Dude, I think Saints win, man. I don't like this
All right,
Bengals
guys,
team,
been a good run.
Yeah, right.
I've managed to catch the Bengals for whatever reason. I managed to catch a lot of Bengals games this year, and I don't like what I'm seeing, man. I'm going Saints, dude. I think Saints cook up something funky, and it looks ugly as hell, but the Saints come out with the dub.
Bengals, they're going to turn their season around, and it's not terrible. What are they, like 2-3 maybe?
Yes, 2-3.
That's not brutal. I think they're going to beat the Saints. Saints aren't good. Bengals are. At least they're better than the Saints.
Let's see.
We got Ravens at the Giants. Tom.
I'm going Ravens.
I'm going Ravens. This is when the Giants are going to get exposed. Like, I think the Ravens are just going to run it down their throat this whole game.
Yeah, I call this a course correction game. The Ravens have struggled a little bit, even though they won Sunday night. They've struggled a little bit the last few weeks. I think they blow up and the Giants come crashing back down to earth. This is, this is midnight when Cinderella's slipper, goes up in smoke and stuff, man. I think the Giants get crushed.
I'm with you. And I found out this week, I read that the Giants didn't pick up Daniel Jones's 5th-year option, which is unheard of for a team to do if you think that person's going to be a part of your team moving forward. So even despite the 4-1 start, Daniel Jones is on his way out, and I think the Ravens are going to expose him even in Giants Stadium for sure. Yep. We got game of the week here. We got Jags at Colts. Tom? You motherfucker. You motherfucker.
I'm going Jags.
Oh.
So I picked the Colts last week in spite of the fact they were going on the road to Denver. It did not look like a good game at all. Dude, the Jags just look like they're crashing back down to earth. Like, they started out so hot and now they're Jagsing again. Like, how do you lose to the Texans? That team is miserable. I mean, I know the Colts are not good on offense, but I could see this being like a 16-14 final Colts win.
Yeah, obviously me and Hawk are going to be watching this game together live on the Redneck Riviera back on the back porch here at my house. And even though I'm not a Colts fan, Matt Ryan is in my top, 3 or 4 favorite athletes I've ever watched. Because I was a Falcons fan for so long, and he's, the Colts are my sentimental pick to make a Super Bowl run. And I think with me and Hawks fandom combined on the back porch, there's no way the Colts lose. Colts win easy.
Whatever happens on Sunday stays between us.
No, it's going to be broadcasted.
Sometimes when I'm watching Colts games, I get pretty graphic.
Live edition.
Oh, God.
Hawks going to be canceling.
All the goats and chickens are going to be huddled up in one corner of the backyard, just like cowering at what's going on the back porch as the Colts are losing 17-16.
And I don't have a lot of faith in the Colts this year, but Jacksonville isn't good. They have been fooling people. I don't know, man. Honestly, nothing's inspired me about this Colts team because we're 2-1. If you told me we were 0-5, I would believe you. If I couldn't remember what the fucking scores were and how the outcome was, we've played so bad. There hasn't been any moment in any Colts game that has inspired any sort of hope for me. You saw it. You guys watched the Colts-Broncos game. It was fucking terrible,
horrible.
And that's how we've played all year.
The announcers were making jokes about how bad of a game it was.
But that's my point. Like, man, if we can put it together, even not to greatness, not even like we're averaging 13.6 points a game in today's NFL. We're 2-1. If the Colts could put it together, figure out even mediocrity, we could be a slightly dangerous team. I do think we can beat the Jags at home. So I'm going to go with the Colts. I'm going to still do my homer rant. We normally do that before this. We'll do that after. You'll hear about my thoughts. Next game, Vikings at Dolphins.
Dolphins.
What was it? Vikings, Dolphins?
Yep.
Vikings
all the way. They've been playing tough. Dolphins are their ship lost out at sea until Tua comes back, man.
I'm with you. I'm gonna go Minnesota.
Next year if he comes back.
He'll be back. He's another player though, best abilities, availability.
You like that one, huh?
I do. I'm going to use that now. I feel like that was a Navy thing. You got that in like boot camp or something. All right. Moving on. We got Pats at Browns.
Pats.
Dude, the Browns just find a way to lose. That's not a bad team, but they just find ways to lose. I'm going to go Pats on this one.
Bowling Green, Kentucky. That's my hometown where I was born. I will, if there's ever a starting quarterback coming out of Western Kentucky University, I will not bet against them. Patriots win. Bailey Zappi continues to ride.
I'll say this: the Browns, they're like the New York Mets of the NFL. No matter what they do, it just doesn't work.
See, I would say they're the rapists of the NFL because they got a straight up sexual predator as their starting quarterback, and they've been over backwards to sign him.
When they get him back.
When they get the King Perv back in there.
Hey, as a fan, if you're a Browns fan, it's easy for us to sit back and be like, oh, yeah, their quarterback's into, whatever he's into. It's that
He loves a
actually
happy ending.
It's not. He's not accused of rape, just for the audience.
Right.
Just so you know, he's accused of
he's not
coercing
a-
women into giving like jacking women, having
He's a
women
perv,
jack him
dude.
off during a massage. I'm not saying he's a stand-up guy. Don't base your moral code on him. Not a
He's
rapist.
more of a perv than a straight up criminal, though.
Perv, exactly. And if I'm a Browns fan, I'm like, please, Deshaun Watson, get back in week 11 because we fucking need you. I'm counting down the days till he's starting. I'd love to fucking have Deshaun Watson on the Colts. Just saying.
You would.
But I am going to take the Patriots because Jacoby Brissett's a fucking train wreck of a quarterback. We got the Jets at the Packers, Tom.
Packers.
That was about as much faith as I have in the Packers winning a game right now. The exact way you just said that. Can they really lose to New York teams back-to-back weeks? Like, I mean, God, dude, Rodgers is not going to lose this game. I'll go Packers.
I don't know, man. I kind of like Zach Wilson, dude. I think the numbers don't show it up, but I think he's got a little bit of gamer in him. I think the Jets, and they're going to be fired up. The Packers, they're like, fuck it. This is whatever. It's the Jets. I feel like the Jets is going to be a real big game for them. I think they find a way to pull off the upset. Jets win.
Rodgers isn't losing to the Jets at Lambeau. Packers all the way. Niners at Falcons, Tom.
Niners.
I think the Niners bludgeon the Falcons, dude.
It's going to be bad.
I think it's going to be bad.
I'm going to veer off ship here. I'm going to go the Falcons because I think you guys are all riding the Niners' dick for no reason at all.
Oh, I'm not riding the Niners' dick. The Falcons are just not good.
You know, it's at home. I'm gonna go with them. I'm
Right.
gonna fucking break the uniform here.
All right, I
All
like
right,
it.
we got Tampa Bay at Pittsburgh.
Tampa.
Yeah.
Tampa is going to fucking destroy that kid. That kid is going to get blitzed every play, and they're going to kill him.
Yeah, Steelers are pretty sorry, man. I'm a believer in Kenny Pickett. I think he's just going to take his lumps this season and grow from it, though. It's a rebuilding year for Pittsburgh. Tampa Bay wins this one easy.
Old tiny hands Pickett. No, not with those hands in the NFL, bud. Not gonna make it. Bucks all the way. Finally, Pittsburgh's in a fucking slump. I love it. Thank fucking Christ. I love it. All right. We're going to go Cardinals at Seahawks, Tom.
Cardinals.
Yeah, I'm going to go Seattle.
I'm going to go Seattle, and I'm going to double down on the prediction and say Cliff Kingsbury gets fired the week after. I think he's the next coach gone after Matt Rule.
I will agree with you that I'm not sure Kingsbury is going to make it through the fucking season, but I do think Arizona is going to win this game because there's just no way Geno Smith's going to continue to play this. He would have been a starting quarterback in the NFL the last few years if he was legitimately good. I just think it's one of those things where he's the right person at the right time, and eventually it's all going to... I don't think Seattle wins but like 2 more games this year. Personally, I just don't see how it can last. So I'm going to go the Cardinals.
Yeah, you're right.
You're right. It is not going to last, but I think it lasts this week.
All right, we got Panthers at Rams.
Rams.
First,
Rams.
There's no way the Rams are losing to the Panthers. If the Rams lose to the Panthers, Stafford should retire.
Dude, historically, teams get a boost the first week after the coach is fired, man. Because usually
that is true.
The coach that comes in afterwards is usually like the substitute teacher, like, fuck it, we're going to cut loose. Like, you're going to see the Panthers busting out some trick plays, like, some shit they haven't done all season. But I still think the Rams pull it off. But I think the Panthers give them a good fight.
Well, we're to the point in the Panthers season where we're making these predictions on a Tuesday, and we don't know who's on the Panthers roster on Sunday because I've already heard Christian McCaffrey rumors. I've heard DJ Moore rumors. Like, this Matt Rule thing was just the first domino to drop in a long line of things coming for the Panthers, including trading their top players because they know that they've missed McCaffrey's window. He's not going to do anything with them. He's out the door. DJ Moore's probably out the door. So definitely the Rams, and we don't even know what team we're getting on Sundays from week to week with the Panthers.
Yeah.
Now this
No,
truly
save this
is
for last. Save it for last. Save that game for last.
Yeah. All right. then we'll go. Well, I don't know. There's 2 monster games in a row, so I don't know which ones you're talking
The
The
about.
main event, save it for last, dude.
The main event is the game you're about to talk about. Save it
All
for
right,
last.
so we'll go. Then I guess we'll go. Hopefully, you're not thinking because Dallas Philly. Then
No,
that's not the
You
main
know what the main event
okay,
is.
cool.
We
All
matched
right,
for the
good. All
playoffs
right,
last
so
year.
Dallas, Philly, Tom.
Dallas.
I think Philly's gonna still win. I think it's gonna be really close, but I think the game manager Cooper Rush. I mean, they're not gonna be able to score enough points. I don't think against this defense. I think it's gonna be low scoring, but I think Philadelphia does just enough to win this game.
Where's the game at, Hawk?
Philly.
Eagles win. If it was at Dallas, I'd pick Dallas. I think this is going to be a really close game, and I think being at home in Philly is enough to tilt it in the Eagles' favor.
It opened as a pick'em, and now Philly's favored by 5.
Vegas knows.
Jesus, I'm gonna. God damn, I think Philly's overrated, but they're gonna go to 6-0. I think because I think Dallas is overrated, so it's 2 over. And I'm not saying they're not good. I'm just saying they're overrated.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna go Philly.
And Sunday Night Football. Honestly, we may end up looking back as this game coming up as like the peak for the Eagles for the season. This is going to be like their freaking Super Bowl, beating Dallas and to get to 6-0 on Sunday night.
All right, let's go Monday Night Football. Then we'll go Denver at Chargers.
Ooh, this should be a good one.
Tom.
Chargers.
If the Chargers can't blow out the Broncos with their current fucking stationary
At home.
I don't know what they're doing. Chargers are going to win this game.
Yeah, I think Chargers blow them out, like Jordan said, and I think we see some serious heat going on Nathaniel Hackett and Russell Wilson.
I'm with you, the Chargers, and I think because you said the next coach to get fired could be Kingsbury, but man, I don't think it's out of the question that Hackett gets fired in the middle of the season because it's just not. If your fans are leaving before overtime, like you still have a chance to win the game. You still have an opportunity to see your team that you paid tickets for to win the game. You're like, no, you know what? I'll just leave.
That's a bad sign. Yeah, that shows the fans have zero faith.
Dude, they sold out season tickets based on what they thought this team was going to be. So that's a very bad sign.
Yeah, but I think I remember thinking that what they had to give up for Russell wasn't as much as you would think. It's not what the Browns gave up for Watson. I don't think
it's not as bad, but they still gave him $250 million.
They did pay him a lot. So, but it's pretty bad. We'll see. All right, so game of the week then, we can all agree because we want to save it till last, is the Buffalo Bills at the Kansas City Chiefs. Arrowhead Stadium, baby. Tom, what are your thoughts?
KC, baby. KC.
All right.
I think the Bills have had 8 months to stew on this game. I think they're going to play pissed, and I think they're going to fucking whack the Chiefs at Kansas City. I think Buffalo is that much better than everybody else, too. Josh Allen is a freak, and I'm not saying Mahomes isn't great, but without Tyreek Hill there to save his ass, I think Buffalo's going to blitz Mahomes on every pass, and where are you going to go other than Kelsey?
See, me and Jordan have gone back and forth on the Bills. He's a little bit higher on them than I am. I think they're great, but I think for whatever reason, Mahomes has their number to it, and I think it's going to be Heartbreak Hotel for the Bills Mafia on Sunday, and Mahomes finds a way to get it done, and the Chiefs win.
No, I'm with Jordan. I think the Bills are the best team in the league, and I think I said it last week. If you put all the players in a hat and you had to start drafting a team, I would take Josh Allen before Patrick Mahomes.
Oh yeah, dude. I agree. Josh Allen's awesome, man.
Wait a minute. How am I overhyping this team? They have, like, other than the Lions getting some fluke start being the number one offense, they basically have the number one offense and the number one defense. Like,
let's say this. See, all right. So one, they got beat by Tua, right? We can't discount that. They got beat by Tua. Tua Tagovailoa had the best game of his career against the Buffalo Bills, right?
Mm-hmm. In 150-degree weather.
Came back from a concussion, led them back to victory. Dude, the Bills were only 11-6 last year, man. Like, they were 11-6, and then they had this epic playoff game against the Chiefs. I think people just got drunk off of that playoff game they had against the Chiefs. The Bills got blown out by the Patriots in the regular season. I know they got revenge in the playoffs, but I don't know, man. I feel like people got way too high on the Bills off of that playoff game.
This is coming from a guy that 3 weeks ago told me Tennessee was going to beat the Bills, and how'd that work out for you there, pal?
You're
What
not
was
going to
that
go
score
undefeated in the NFL. Division loss. Was the Dolphins game in Miami or Buffalo?
It was in Miami, and it
Okay.
was like 115 degrees, so they had a lot going against them,
A
and they could have
division
won that
loss
game.
on the road, a rival. That's not a terrible loss. That's supposed to happen, and teams don't go undefeated. So
Yeah, I mean,
they
I
lost to
said
Tua.
when we did our power rankings, I had Bills number 1. I think they're great, and they may very well come out of the AFC. But I think this Sunday, I think for the Chiefs, this is probably just another game. The Chiefs have played so many big games over the last 3 or 4 years. I feel like Jordan said, I feel like the Bills, this is their Super Bowl, and I think they're going to be pressing, and I think the Chiefs find a way to get it done and come out there with the victory.
I'm going to tell you this. I was at the Colts-Chiefs game in person, live. We played against Kansas City exactly like we played against Buffalo, and we won the game against Kansas City. That's what I'll tell you. I think one of you guys said earlier, Kansas City's not as good as last year, and it's fucking true, man. They clearly aren't, because the Colts are not good this year, and we beat the Chiefs, and the Chiefs never look good. And that's the only game I've watched by the Chiefs. I did watch the last half of the Raiders Chiefs game. And I don't know, 3 years ago, I thought, fuck, Mahomes going to win the next goddamn 10 Super Bowls. How's anyone going to beat the Chiefs? They're unbeatable. But I don't feel like that anymore. Now they almost feel like a regular NFL team to me, where you expect them to win most games, but they're not the powerhouse favorite that you, 3 years ago, you picked them every single week to win every game they played. Even if they lost, you picked them to win. This year, you have to think about it. I don't think it's a clear cut, Chiefs are winning.
Yeah. I mean, I 100% agree.
Tyreek Hill was a big loss, man. I didn't think that was going to affect them as much as it has.
I don't think they did either, and that's why they traded him. There was a huge trend in the offseason, if you remember, of teams dropping their fucking number one receivers. Tyreek Hill was traded, Devontae Adams was traded, A.J. Brown was traded. And as a Colts fan who we need receivers, I'm sitting there thinking, why aren't you jumping on any of this shit? Because you need a receiver, and I don't know why NFL teams all of a sudden think that these wide receiver ones are expendable. Look at the Packers. They need Aaron Rodgers. Look at the Chiefs. They need Tyreek Hill. Look at the fucking Titans. They need fucking
They're missing
A.J. Brown
big time.
What is with teams thinking that they don't need these players? It's actually pretty shocking to me.
I'm going to say one more thing about the Chiefs, too. And this is going to sound asinine when I say it just because of the game you had last night. Dude, I don't think Travis Kelce – I think something's wrong with Travis Kelce. The balls he caught last night were all within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. He didn't run any deep routes last night. He was basically a decoy when he went deep. He was more blocking than anything. I know he caught 4 touchdown passes, so it skews it. But the dude caught 7 balls for 25 yards. That's not a normal Travis Kelce game. And he looked like he was slow last night. I don't know what it was, but I don't know. And I saw a couple other people talking about it, so definitely not alone on this.
He's on the wrong side of 30 for his position. And he doesn't have Tyreek Hill taking the top off the defense.
It's a problem. When Juju's your guy to take the top off the defense, that's not going to hit the same as Tyreek Hill.
True. All right, well, that's our week prediction. All right, Tom, give me a homer rant drop. I'm going to give a quick homer rant, and then we'll get into some fantasy and betting and get the fuck out of here.
Okay, here it is.
We've got to be the dumbest team in America.
We couldn't complete a pass.
We give games away.
We couldn't do diddly poo offensively.
We give them away.
We got to totally kick the second half. We couldn't make a first down or performance.
All right, so I got 2 minutes. There's no timer, but I'll make it quick. So I'm not a guy for apologies. I don't expect to get them. I don't give them. But my homer rant, first off, I would actually like to issue an apology to America for the Thursday game that you had to fucking sit through. So I will issue that apology, even though I am loath to do it. And then secondly, which I never do, I demand an apology. And I demand an apology from the Indianapolis Colts organization for that game and fielding that goddamn team. It is goddamn a mind fuck. You construct a team that you think's a contender. The weakest position on your team can't be left tackle. And for as much praise as Ballard gets, Like, holy fuck, dude. We have 0 left tackle to a point that it's almost like you could literally put me out there because all you're doing is putting someone out there to run past the left tackle and get to Matt Ryan. It's making fucking Quentin Nelson have to compensate to try to do something. But then it also gets to coaching. It's like you realize we don't have a left tackle, so you got to start calling plays for your tight ends to chip, your running backs to do something. And it's the play calling's been fucking atrocious. We're averaging 13 points a game in today's NFL. How the fuck do you average 13 points a game? You think you would score 14 points by accident? Like literally just no game plan. Just go out there and be like, here's NFL. Here's what you do. You throw the ball forward. You pass. You hand it off a couple times. You'd figure just by accident you'd get down the field twice. They couldn't do it. They haven't done it all year. We've got shut out by the fucking Jaguars. We couldn't score a touchdown against the fucking Broncos. It's a goddamn listless offense, and supposedly our offensive coach or our coach is an offensive genius. You guys watched the game. That's not fucking true. And going to the game, I said he was the worst NFL coach. I do take that back. I do think Nathaniel Hackett's the worst. Goddamn. We're 2-2-1. We played like the worst team in the league, so I guess I can't bitch that we're 2-2-1, but pull your heads out of your ass, man. What the fuck? That's it.
I'm going to do – this is going to be like 30 seconds. This is about Falcons.
All right, do it. Everyone who wants to homer rant now.
Yes, they did get fucked by a bad call, but for 3 quarters, I had to watch Marcus Mariota attempt to throw the ball, and I'm fucking disgusted by it. The dude is not a good quarterback. He is a fill-in quarterback, and you have a rookie sitting on the bench. See what he is. I don't give a shit if he sucks. At least we know this team's not going to the fucking playoffs. Like, at least see what Desmond Ridder has. Like, I don't care if he sucks. At least we know at that point. We know what Marcus Mariota is. We have 8 years of tape on Marcus Mariota. The dude is not a good quarterback. Stop throwing this fucking turd out there. That's all I got.
I'm with
Seth,
you.
what do you
Throw
got?
the rookie out.
So, I was a lifelong Falcons fan. I finally pulled the plug on that in 2020 and kind of went football agnostic. But my dad's a diehard Titans fan, and now I'm here in Tennessee, so I've kind of adopted the Titans a little bit. So I'm not going to say I'm a diehard, but I do root for the Titans, and I got to give a shout out to the Colts for trading away Carson Wentz to the Commanders because the Titans did everything in their power to give that game away on Sunday, but the Colts the Commanders had goal to go at with less than a minute left, and of course Carson Wentz. What does he do? Throws a pick to seal the game. Titans win.
Was it a shovel pass? Because he had a lot of those for the Colts where he threw this stupid shovel pass interception that went right to the defensive lineman. He did it like 3 times last year.
They had the ball at like the 7-yard line. He just dropped back and threw the ball as hard as he could into like triple coverage, and one of the Titans grabbed it.
Oh yeah, we had a lot of goal line interceptions with Wentz. It's fucking great. Love it. Tom, you want to say any words for about the Cowboys, bud?
No, I'll talk about the Yankees. They're up 4-1, 2 outs, top of the 9th,
Yawn.
1 down. Oh, shut up. Like 11 to go, 10 to go after tonight. So let's go Yankees.
Okay.
Football season for me doesn't start until the Yankees are over. That's when I dive in.
All right, Tom, let's get the what's your fantasy drop here. We'll just go around the horn on our fantasy teams.
No, because he sucks you guys in.
I want to kiss you.
So he sucks you guys right in. So consider yourself sucked.
All right, Tom, do you do fantasy? Do you have a fantasy team?
I don't this year because I thought we were doing one in a tavern and then it never happened.
Well, fuck off then. Jordan, how'd you do in fantasy this week and some pointers for the week moving forward for anybody?
I went 4-1 this week. Had a absolute miracle last night with Travis Kelce to come back in my big league and win. I was down 27 points, which I thought was insurmountable, but attaboy, Travis, way to catch those 4 touchdowns. I don't really have a ton of advice this week. I mean, Lions are off this week, so I can't give that stupid-ass rant that if they're playing the Lions, start whoever's playing the Lions. But you don't start any Falcons this week as long as Mariota's the quarterback.
All right.
Yeah, I got screwed by Lamar Jackson, dude. I thought he was going to blow up being a rivalry game against the Bengals. I think he dropped like 11 points, man. So I took the big L this week in my fantasy league.
Yeah. Any advice moving forward? Any stardoms?
Dude, I'm telling you, I got a funny feeling Mahomes is going to show out Sunday afternoon, man. I think he's going to blow. I think he's
I mean, of course, if you have Mahomes, you got to start Mahomes.
Yeah,
Regardless.
he's been paying attention. Well, but not just that. He's been paying attention to all the hype the Bills are getting. I think you're going to see guys like Montez, Valdine, Scanlon. You know, the previously downgraded Juju Smith-Schuster. I think a lot of the Chiefs role players are going to be in line for some big days because it's definitely going to be a shootout Sunday afternoon. So if you got some Chiefs guys on your bench, this might be the week to put them in the starting lineup.
Against the number 1 defense in the NFL. Couldn't agree more.
Good advice, Seth. Great job. So I actually took the win in the league that mattered. So I went into the Monday night game. Lamar Jackson shitting the bed was great for me because I had Devontae Adams left, and he had Darren Waller and Lamar Jackson, and then Lamar Jackson kind of shit the bed on Sunday night. So then I only had to Devontae Adams had to outscore Darren Waller by 17 points. I was down 17 going into the night. And I wasn't watching the game, but my first time I checked in, Devontae Adams already had 58 yards and a touchdown. And it put me down like 2. I'm like, oh, this is a fucking easy one. So Devontae Adams fucking killed it for me. He had his best year, but now he's going to probably be fucking suspended because the asshole pushed a cameraman. So now I'm going to have to find I think it'll probably be I can't imagine more than a 1 gamer for that, right?
I mean, the camera guy pressed charges already too, but like Devontae Adams immediately went on Twitter. Like, I think it was like less than an hour after the game that he apologized. He was like, hey, you know what? The guy ran in front of me and I just had a bad reaction. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets off without even getting suspended. It's not like he punched the dude, right? Like the dude did run in his way and he kind of, he gave him a little bit of a shove, but
this is GM Phelps' fucking pep talk. If this is my guy, I want him to show fire because he lost. Fuck that cameraman.
Yeah, they're gonna suspend him for a game because the NFL needs.
They're gonna suspend him.
He's gonna lose a game for sure. And as far as starters, I'm gonna go with my home team because as shitty as they look, you guys, the name that was being called all night long, Alex Pierce for the Colts. That dude was fucking money for us. Every game he's been getting better every single game because against the Texans, he dropped a touchdown pass in the end zone. We probably would have won the game. It wasn't like a game-winning touchdown, but if we'd have won that game, if he didn't caught it, we'd have won that game.
I saw that exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, it was a bad
Every game, he's been getting better. He has great hands. He wins the 50-50 ball like every single time. So if Matt Ryan can get more than 1 second to throw the ball, I think Alex Pierce is going to be a pretty fucking solid start for the rest of the season because Pittman's getting their top cornerback every week. So the rest of our offense is just kind of a free-for-all. So I'm going to go with Alex Pierce.
Hey, Frank Reich, if you're fucking listening, do 3-step drops, you fucking moron.
He loves fucking shotgun.
Fucking
he loves
idiot, dude.
Shotgun play action. That's his thing. Even in 4th and 1, it's nothing for him to be in the shotgun with fucking Taylor there.
Gonna get my boy killed.
All right, so the last thing is bets. I don't think we have a drop for that, Tom. So I think we'll just go right into it. You're the better man. You got any? I know it's Tuesday.
It's only Tuesday. I got to see how the lines move, where the sharp money is.
All right, well, tell us how you did this week. Tell us some bets maybe that you won some cash on.
I didn't do any betting this past weekend, actually. I won the weekend before. I had to work the whole weekend. If I work Sunday, I don't bet because then I sit at work watching my watch the whole day.
I gotcha. I know Jordan plays some bets.
I did. I had an okay weekend. I didn't have the greatest weekend. Saturday I got fucking killed, but we'll just move on from that. I think I went 4-2 on Sunday this week. No parlays or anything like that. My big bet was Bills. All right, there was no way they weren't covering 14 against the Steelers. So this week, I'm already telling you right now, jump on that Eagles line because there's no way that should go from a pick-em to a -5. There's no way. Vegas is not stupid. They know what they're doing.
That's true.
And honestly, everybody's expecting a shootout, and it's a high line. It's 54 for Bills and Chiefs. I'm telling you, don't be surprised if that game goes under.
Okay.
Those high lines, they want you to bet on that line. They want you to think that's the smart money, and it never is.
A few of those have got me this season, for sure. Yeah. Seth,
if it looks too good, it's not good.
I do not bet. I am not bold because I would just be sick at my stomach all week, man. Like I'd be in NFL players DMs, blowing them up and everything. If Ryan Tannehill ended up costing me $250 on a Sunday afternoon. So yeah, I'm in it just for the love of the game. So I cannot offer any gambling advice.
So for me, I put in 200 at the beginning of the season. I went into last week with 132. So I accidentally fucked up, and I was meeting to place like 4 $10 bets on the Colts Broncos game, which would have left me like $90 for Sunday. I accidentally laid a $100 bet on it, something that was actually almost covered. If Alex Pierce would have scored a TD, I would have won $1,100. And this was totally by everything else covered. Like Cortland Sutton had 50 receiving yards. Alex Pierce had 40 plus yards, and the Colts won money line. I had everything covered, and it was on accident, but Alex Pierce didn't score the TD. So I think that puts me out for the season. But since I accidentally lost $100 when I should have only lost 9 or 10, I feel like I'm obligated to throw in $100 more.
Yes.
To see out the rest of the season.
Accidents don't count.
And it's at the end of the day, I'm not losing a huge amount of money, and it does make the NFL more fun to place like $10 bets. And I'm balling, so I can lose $100.
I forgot to mention this last week because it's funny that you said an accidental bet. I had a 4-team player prop last weekend, and Brian Hoyer was the 4th leg, and I accidentally put over his yards rather than under. And I tried to get my bookie to cancel it, and he wouldn't cancel it. So if I would have had Brian Hoyer under yards, I would have hit another $1,200 parlay last Sunday. But I accidentally bet over. And, of course, he gets hurt on the first fucking series.
Does this ever happen to you?
With a bookie, dude? You don't do like FanDuel or DraftKings?
FanDuel's not legal in my state.
Oh,
so you got like an old school bookie like Mafia, dude, or what?
I mean, we're not going to put too much information out there, so.
Yeah, I gotcha.
All right, calm down. Hey, calm down,
his
government
bookie
official.
He just calls FanDuel his bookie. Now stop.
Yeah, what, you wearing a wire?
What's happened to me a lot.
Now I'm worried about you. I don't want you to get your legs broke or something, dude, if you have a bad week on the games.
I'll be all right, man. Don't worry.
They'll be hitting that
He has
Chick-fil-A
the bookie
petty
that
cash
he
fund.
can't pay. The bookie can't pay. He's like, sorry, man, I had a bad week. I got to pay next week.
So my rule is always in betting, no matter what. I don't care if I start off shit and I hit this number. If I hit negative 500, I'm done for the season. Like I give the bookie $500 and I'm done for the year.
Well, we talked about it before we went on air. Jordan's also my insurance agent. So if I see my premium start like suspiciously creeping up month after month, I know what's going on, dude.
No,
But,
unfortunately, I can't skim money off your insurance premiums.
Unfortunately. I have a real issue with making a bet and then the whole game going thinking I bet one thing and then I check the bet and I act like it was the Colts over under. I'm like, I could have swore I had bet the under. I'm like, oh, that's going to cover for sure because I'd bet the Colts money line and under is what I thought. And I checked my bet and I picked the over and I'm like, I would have never done that because I know the Colts can't score. So it was clearly an accident, but I went the whole game thinking like, all right, that one's going to cover at least because it's surely going to be under, but I fucking picked the over.
It happens, man.
I did that one time. I was driving to work and I put in a parlay on my phone and I thought I lost. And then when I checked like later, I looked at my account and I had like $600 in there. I'm like, what the hell? I accidentally hit over instead of under on one of them and I wound up winning the parlay because of that. So sometimes those mistakes help.
Yeah, same vein, not betting, but with back to fantasy. So the league me and Jordan are in together. It's been like pretty much the same guys for going on 17 years now. And one of the years I won the championship, I accepted a trade on accident. I meant to hit the line and hit accept, and it's online, so there's no going back on it. And it ended up fucking working out gloriously in my favor, dude. So,
dude, I have a friend who I accuse. He's the commissioner of my league, and I always accuse him like, dude, you just send out trades hoping that someone's going to hit accept on accident because they're so asinine.
Yeah.
But that's got to be something where you could be like, I didn't mean to hit accept. We can reverse that. Right?
I was emailing CBS Sportsline to try to get them to reverse it, and they were like, no, there's nothing we can do. I'm like, motherfucker. But it ended up all working out.
We had an accidental accepted trade last year in the Chick-fil-A league. Seth knows this because like the fucking thread just blew up. Some dude was like in dead last but had Jonathan Taylor, and somebody offered him like just a random wide receiver, and he took it. And we were like, no, what the fuck?
There were collusion allegations. It almost tore apart the entire.
But you don't have a
Facebook
veto
group.
in my league. It's a veto. Like if six
No.
people veto, trades null and void.
We go on the trust rule, which I think is extremely stupid, but whatever.
You can't trust people. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Don't trust anybody.
Nothing
Brady
should be on
this.
the honor system.
I just looked it up. The Cowboys and the Eagles are at 42.5. I would jump on that under.
I don't know, man. The
I
Eagles
think
have
it's
been
gonna
rolling.
be. I think it's gonna be low
Eagles put up
scoring.
some points.
Eagles don't score in the second half, though. Is the only problem.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see.
All right.
Well, I think that's it, fellas. Unless anybody has any final thoughts.
Nope.
Hey, we got to give a quick shout out. So John obviously had some sort of emergency, couldn't be here tonight. Shout out to Tom for awesome driving the
Thanks,
board.
bud.
And Hog, dude, you killed it being the host, man. Freaking driving the conversation and stuff, dude. So I do that on the Chick-fil-A show, and I know, like, dude, it's not as easy as it seems sometimes, man. So salute to you guys, dude. For
Yeah, Hawk did very smooth. I
yeah,
thought it was a great. You guys did a great job. Honestly, you guys, your knowledge of the NFL is way beyond mine. So I felt like I was jumping in over my head, but you guys made it go smooth. So, you guys, just
Appreciate you.
Let's give some quick plugs before we leave. Go ahead, Seth. Plug the Chick-fil-A show and everything.
So follow my wife Sheena at Chick-fil-A, and you can go to chickfoley.com to find you can find our podcast, find the store, everything you need. So yeah, chickfoley.com and at Chick-fil-A on Instagram.
Jordan, is that an Alexa Bliss Funko Pop behind you?
Fact it is, Tom.
Good eye,
Fact-
Tom.
I
Fact
spotted
it is.
that.
Holy fuck,
Fucking
dude.
sniper, dude.
Jesus. I couldn't even tell it was a Funko Pop. Tom's like,
Tom's a fucking scout sniper. In
it's like,
his
is that
previous
Series
life,
7?
dude.
That's awesome. Hawk, why don't you plug a broken VCR?
Broken VCR this week. We did the 1971 Ken Russell film, The Devils, banned in most countries, and Warner Brothers refuses to release it on home video. Very controversial, very graphic, not one for the children. So if you plan on watching it, I'd watch it with adults.
All right, Jordan, plug yourself.
I
Wow.
am. Oh,
What a surprise!
I don't know if that came out right.
That's- Wait till after the show's over to do that, please.
You can find me at the Fig God on Instagram, and I'm on Chick-fil-A show with this numbnuts over here, and we do the Pod Wars. So,
And guys, do not forget, check out the turnbuckletavern.com
Oh, yeah.
for all of our links. They're all listed there. Follow, like, and subscribe to us everywhere you possibly can. All you need to know is there at theturnbuckletavern.com. Until next week, anything else, guys? Any closing words?
Hey,
Go
check out
Horse.
the Pod Foundation. We forgot to plug them. Check out Extra Cooler and Coming Down the Aisle.
There, that's it, guys. Until then, for these men, we'll see you next week.